I don't know if this information is true. This has not been vetted at all. But if it is true, this is the most exciting thing to happen to Genshin Impact for a long time. If it's real, I don't know if it's real. I have no idea. This is just because the leak has been out at this point for 4 minutes from a trusted source. So again, I don't know if this is real, but if it's real, this is the most exciting thing to come to Genshin Impact in a super, super long time. Let's jump into it. All of you out there right now that are playing Genshin and either starting right now, I have some information for you that whether you believe in leaks, don't believe in leaks, this is just going to give you a small tip, okay? If you don't want to listen to anything besides just taking the take, this is the take, okay? I'll give you that first, okay? Currently, the Artifact Strongbox system is one of the coolest inventions that have ever been brought to Genshin because you can take artifacts that are really crappy and then just take those super crappy artifacts and have a chance at getting something good, right? And you just have a chance. It's the same as doing another artifact. Hey, that's not bad, actually. That's pretty good. I might use that. I might level that. But hey, there's a bunch of them, and a lot of people end up having different influences. Now, I made an entire video about this artifact exchange system and why it's actually a very, very good thing and why you need this. There is something you need to do starting today. Start doing this today. Otherwise, you will regret it, and you'll be so excited that you did this and so happy that you did this that it will be blow your mind, okay? Okay. All right. So for those of you guys who are not interested in leaks, that's the tip of what to do. Okay. Start saving 5-star artifacts is the tip. Artifact exchange system is really good. And for those of you guys who don't want to listen to leaks, check out on this video. You don't actually have to pay attention to the rest of it. Just start saving artifacts. Trust me. Start saving your 5-star shitty artifacts. Okay. That's what you have to know. Okay. For everybody else. Okay, for everybody else in the universe, a person that was a trusted leaker, okay, put out some information about a theory about characters that might get artifact strongboxes. And these artifact strongboxes might contain artifacts that we really wanted to get in the artifact exchanger. Now, I can't really give you a name as to which ones will be placed into the artifact exchanger at all. I will not be able to give you those names because that would be leaking, okay? I won't do that. I refuse to leak because leaking is wrong. And in general, I think that most people would agree that leaking should not be done because Mahudyo does not like leakers. But if there were other artifacts added to the artifact exchanger, and these artifacts were super, super coveted by people that didn't want to spend their raisins on different things, but then could then farm whatever artifact domain they wanted to and get artifacts that they hadn't farmed ever for, you know, their Hu Tao or whatever, and they could potentially get their Crimson Witch of the Flame set finally on their Hu Tao. Or another artifact set like Viridescent Venera and try to get the perfect artifact set for Sucrose or something like that. But they weren't able to get those artifact sets, but somehow in the future might be able to get them. That would be the most exciting thing to combat Genshin Impact ever. Because that makes Genshin so free to play friendly. It's ridiculous. In general, there are two things you need to do if other artifacts came to the artifact exchanger. Okay, number one. Okay, the number one thing you need to do no matter what is start saving crappy 5-star artifacts. Whatever it is, just start saving it. You can save up to 1,500. Okay. Now, if MiHoYo was going to add anything to the artifact exchange system, most likely it will be in Sumeru. Just like in 2.0, we got the first part of the artifact exchange system. Now in 3.0, we might get a second one. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know anything, but you know, hey, what are you going to do? Okay. The second thing you're going to have to do, I know a lot of you guys don't like doing this, but what you should do is start farming artifact roots. Okay. Now, I have an entire video on artifact roots, and I understand a lot of you guys don't want to spend the time because you think it's boring. But you can actually get artifact roots down to a 12-minute interval. And I have an entire video on artifact roots and how to farm them in order to get them done to 12 to 15 minutes and get yourself a lot of artifact XP. Now, if you're a player that does have a lot of artifact XP already lying around and you don't want to do this because you think you may not need artifact XP, well, you can be like me, and what I do is I start selling 3-star artifacts, 2-star artifacts, 1-star artifacts, all that stuff for Mora, and by just farming the artifact roots, I'm actually able to get about 100,000 Mora every single day in 15 minutes of grinding. So that to me is an acceptable level of grinding to get a decent amount of Mora. So if you're interested in getting those types of resources so you can level your artifacts on the release of a new artifact exchange system that could potentially happen in the future, which would be very good, that's a really good process. I've actually been doing this for my Kazuha in order to get more Mora. I ended up, I think at the start of the month, around 1 million Mora, and now as of right now I'm at like 4.2. I had 4.9 million earlier, but I ended up leveling up a what's it called, a dark iron sword for my Kuki Shinobu, so I could give the R5 Iron Sting over to for Kazuha. So just this is a really good effective way of grinding Mora every single day. And now that Genshin's kind of on a spot where you don't want to waste resin on things like the you don't want to waste resin that you get on the Leyline Overflow event, because you don't want to spend your resin that you have here, you want to spend it on artifact domains. This is a great way of getting that same level of Mora by just spending 15 minutes on the game. So do those two things. Save a bunch of artifacts, okay? As many as you possibly can, all the way to 3.0, because if there is an artifact exchange system change, that's when it will happen. Do those two things, okay? Okay, if you're farming the artifact roots, if you farmed, let's just say, artifact roots every single day, and you have enough artifact XP, and you were selling the artifacts for Mora over the next 50 days or so, that would equate to, of course, a total of about 5 million extra Mora that you could have for 3.0 to level those artifacts just by spending a little bit of time doing that. So if you are light on Mora, you're light on artifact XP, those are two different things you can do in order to get yourself that extra amount of stuff prior to this, because we all know how expensive artifacts are to level. So if you wanted to level those artifacts and get more artifacts to try out things, please do that starting right now. Well, again, I don't really put out leak videos very often or ever because I didn't really leak any information in the at all in this video. But I wanted to let you guys know that if you do decide to, of course, use the artifact exchange system in the future, if they ended up giving you more artifacts, that would be a great idea right now to start stockpiling. But thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys.